When was the last time you took a leap of faith, trusting that everything is going to work out? Do you crave growth, or are you merely content with the status quo? If you want more out of your life, out of your career, and out of your relationships, you are in the right place. Take the leap and discover how to create a life by design rather than living it by default. Real success starts with you. Now here's your host, Colleen Biggs.
Oh, hello, listeners, and welcome back to another episode of Take the Leap. I am your host, Colleen Biggs. We are on episode number 177. And as you know, I love to bring on guests. I mean, I don't mind doing regular podcasts where I'm the only person speaking, but I feel like I do a lot of that. And I love to bring on guests that allow you to take a skill that maybe you don't have, maybe discover something new about yourself, and really kind of start filling that toolbox of how do I design the life the way I want it designed. You all know my story. My life was just happening to me. I wasn't taking charge of that. In fact, there was a time in my life where I even thought like I was worried I was going to lose my job. Way back when the recession had hit, like 2008, 2009. I was super worried all the time. And I just allowed that stress to make me sick a lot. I was always worried. And now looking back, it was like, Colleen, seriously, you could just go get another job. Like, really? But I couldn't even see that past my own nose. And so I think there's some things maybe today you can't see because you just haven't been put in a place or heard it verbally. Now we have podcasts, so you can get a lot of this information. Maybe you just never heard of the possibility that you could create your own future. That was, kind of not a normal thing to me. And now I've met some amazing leaders, experts, and individuals. So to understand yourself better, how you can talk to others, how your communication skills can advance, don't go to a communication skills conference. Just don't. I want to teach you about BANK. That's what we're going to be learning about today. I have Kelly Leightner with us. And I think I have been to so many communication skills classes. It's just like they drowned me in them when it came and took in corporate America. And then I learned about BANK and it was like, well, that was really fast and really easy. And thank you so much. And I didn't have to sit through all those hours and hours. So Kelly's going to be giving us more information on what does BANK stand for. We're not talking about money. We're talking about you. We're talking about your personality. We're talking about other people's personalities, methodologies, a lot of things that maybe you've never considered. So before we get to that, I need to thank the sponsor of today's show, Phoenix Drone Pros. And at Phoenix Drone Pros, we love what we do and are passionate about each and every drone photography and video shoot. We've been in business since 2015. Our talent and skills show in the video production we deliver. We offer fast service for commercial real estate, movies, events, and construction site monitoring. We also provide drone virtual tours that are all the rage right now, including training. You want to buy a drone? We'll teach you how to fly it. These virtual tours are great for team building and entertainment. Contact us today at phoenixdronepros.com to schedule your shoot online or to get more information. And now Phoenix Drone Pros has franchise. So if you're ready to kiss corporate goodbye and own your own business, contact phoenixdronepros.com/franchise today. Thank you, Phoenix Drone Pros, for being the sponsor of today's show. All right. Let me tell you about Kelly Leightner. She is all about decoding the secrets of effective communication and making your relationships, both in business and life, thrive. Want to know her journey? She says it's been a wild ride from playing the roles of a daughter, sister, wife, and mom to diving into careers like nursing, travel agency, and becoming an NLP practitioner and coach. Well, what do you guys think is driving Kelly Leightner today? She's super passionate about helping small business owners, entrepreneurs, and sales folks master the art of personality intelligence. We all talk about emotional intelligence. Today, it's personality intelligence. That's right. She's talking about understanding those different communication styles that we all already know and we have. Maybe you're just not digging into them and pulling them out. Her mission is to equip you and with all the tools that you need to rock your business, bridge communication gaps, and connect on a deeper level. And y'all know, number 2 rule in business, I say every single episode. Number 1, visibility. Number 2, build long-lasting relationships. And how do you do that? You do that with Bing. Kelly, welcome to today's show.
I love that introduction. Oh my goodness. You make me sound so awesome.
Good. That's my goal today, is for you to feel amazing. So, it's you. I talked about you being a nurse, a travel agent, an NLP practitioner. Tell me kind of this evolution of you. I talked a little bit about it in the beginning of the show, of my evolution. What drove this evolution of the different things that you did during that time? You know, many of us women, it's like, well, I could only do certain things within boundaries because I was a mom and I couldn't travel, I couldn't be gone, like I had to take care of my kids. What was your story?
So for me, I grew up with a very traditional household. You know, you went to school, you went to college, you get a job, and you stay at that job pretty much forever. Um, which is how I kind of started. That's what I believed. So after high school, I went to school to be a travel agent. And I did that for a while. And I was able to start staying home before my second child was born, because I was only working part time at that point because I wanted to raise my kids myself. Well, that little fantasy popped really fast, but you know, raising kids full time is not
Mhm.
the um, June Cleaver way of life in real life. But that's neither here nor there at this point. But I did that. I got out before 9/11 happened. And of course, after 9/11, the travel world completely changed.
Mhm.
I was happy being a stay-at-home mom. During that, I had taken a CPR course and first aid course because I was going to start babysitting to bring in a little bit of extra income while still being home with my kids. And then there was one day there was an accident on the highway, and all these people are in the way. They're to the opposite side of the highway than I was on. And I'm like, people need to get out of the way once EMS gets on site. They just need to not be there hovering. Now, they may have all been involved in the accident at that time. I wasn't paying that close of attention, but it got me thinking. I'm like, well, maybe I could work with EMS. So I contacted some friends and talked to them, and they're like, the husband goes, don't do it. No, sorry, the wife said, don't do it. She said, be a nurse, because that way, if you don't like emergency medicine, there's a lot of different areas you can go to. The husband said, don't listen to her. Talk to me more if you want to know more. Kind of my personality, I did a little bit of research into it and decided I wanted to go the nursing route. So then I became a nurse, did that for a while, got to the point where I got tired of my life being dictated by a schedule. So I was picking up side gigs, hoping and praying to make enough money to be able to leave. Nobody was interested in what I was doing. I'm like, what's wrong? And the last, well, and I actually still do it as well, but the last one that I had joined, we had our conference, and there was a woman who had spoke to a group of people at the conference. I wasn't one of the people in that group, but I was hearing everybody talk about it. And so they were talking about personality types. I'm like, oh, well, here's another thing everybody's going to glom onto for 5 minutes and then it's going to disappear. It sounded intriguing. But then I went to what we called a boot camp, and there was one of our distributors who was a trainer already in this. And so she was training it. And I went, this is why nobody's buying from me, because I'm talking about science and research and efficacy and cleanliness and all the things that
They
people
don't care.
should be worried about.
They don't care.
No,
Mhm.
well, the people I was talking to, that was not a priority personality for them.
Mhm.
So no wonder nobody was buying from me. And I'm like, I need to learn this and really utilize it. So I
Mhm.
dove into it. And then I'm like, okay, well, how do I learn to teach others to do this? Because I know there's more people like me out there that aren't climbing the ranks in network marketing.
Mhm.
They're stuck like I am, going, I don't know what to do next. And you got a mismatch in the personality type of the leaders with the people under them. And me, I needed step-by-step instructions. And most of the leaders I ever came across with get a little bit of information, they go, the expression ignorance on fire.
Mhm.
That is a particular personality type. Not that they're ignorant, but they don't need all the deep dive information and they just take off and go.
Mhm. Yeah,
And so
sure.
my journey started in that direction. And then also finding that it affects relationships
Mhm.
tremendously.
Mhm.
It's improved communication with my husband and I. Now we still fight. We had one this morning too. I'm like, stop it. I have a podcast today. I don't have time for this. me out.
We're like, who's-da? We got to let go of that energy.
It took a little while to let that go. I'm honest about that, but I quickly realized, one, this was a stupid argument. And so I stopped it abruptly and he got mad. He goes, we need to talk about you interrupting me and da 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 da. Whatever. I don't have time for this right now. And then I told him what was going on and reminded him, I have this podcast I'm trying to record that you were currently interrupting me with this conversation in the first place. My fault. I was in a public area of the house. But anyway, it can improve your personal relationships. And we do have one specific case and stories of others that it's possible that it has also helped prevent suicide. Children and families where you got one child whose personality is so different from the others. And the one that we have confirmed was, and we haven't talked about the personality types yet, but he was a knowledge personality type. And everybody else in his family was a different personality type. And once they all learned it, the family's like, oh, we're not meeting his needs. And when he learned it, he goes, you mean I'm smarter than everybody else? And he was so excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, let's talk about BANK, because BANK is BANK. So what is BANK and what does it stand for?
So BANK is an acronym for the 4 personality types. You've got the blueprint, the action, the nurturing, and the knowledge. And so the woman who created it liked finances, likes making money. So
and by the way, before you get going on this, I'm going to let everyone know, yes, you get to go break your own code and find out which one you are. And we're going to give that to you free. So if you just want to scroll down and look at that and click on the link, you can go figure out, are you a B? Are you an A? Are you an N? Are you a K? There's going to be some questions. So at the end of this, that is available for you. So I just wanted to let everyone know in the beginning of the podcast that that's going to be there. Go ahead, Kelly.
And it will take you 90 seconds or less to do this.
It's great.
It is such
awesome.
a simple little test. And if you provide your email, it'll send you your report that talks all about it. Because
I'm an A, in case anyone is ever wondering what I am. I don't think one person has ever wondered what is Colleen. She's definitely an A.
I say within the first 3 minutes, I think, of talking to you, I quickly realized that as well.
Yeah. I'm like, would everyone stop sitting around and just get to work, please? Let's just go. Let's just do this.
Well, we met at a networking event, so that wasn't our situation. It was
right.
the way you talk, the energy in the talk, your appearance, all of those things. I had a very strong suspicion that that was your first code before ever asking you, because you already knew what yours was.
Yeah.
Prior to meeting me. And so I'm like, okay, good. I got that part right.
I think it's important, and we're going to get to that in a second as we come full circle, which is recognizing what other people are when you get to know the differences of the B, the A, the N, and the K, really understanding, and then that's going to help you in those conversations. That's what we're getting to. So go ahead, Kelly. Let's talk a little bit more about that.
All right. So I forgot what the question was because we got distracted.
We were talking about what is BANK.
Okay.
And then what are the different things? So you just talked about blueprint, action,
nurturing, and knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the 4 personality types. The woman who created it, like I said, was in financial sales. It was a network marketing company, basically commission only. And initially she made $700 in her first year. Yikes, right? You can't live on.
Well, a lot of people in doing these direct sales, they'll make $700 the first year if they're not, really getting the guidance, coaching. Yeah. I mean, and they don't, if they're not getting the guidance and coaching on how to have the conversations. And again, you can't sell exactly the same to every single person. Just doesn't work. What lights you up and what makes you say yes is different than what lights me up and makes me say yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I can't come at you with the science and the research and the cleanliness and the efficacy, because you're going to politely listen.
Solve my problem. Would you just solve my problem? Like, I don't have time. That's me. Just solve my problem.
So this will help you with your fruits and veggie needs. We go back to the company I was with prior.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm still with, but I just don't talk about quite as much. But yeah, so I would be talking about, if you get all these fruits and veggies, it'll make you look younger. I've seen it improve wrinkles on faces. There for a while, it helped mine. Then menopause kicked in. That's a whole other story.
Yeah, whole another story. We're not talking about menopause today, but I'll invite Kelly back when we want to talk about menopause. Women over 50. That'll be our episode.
Yeah, going through it, not fun. So she started realizing she needed help. She did the personal development. And then she's like, not one of these personality tests out there tell me how to sell to the other person. So she set about trying to figure that part out and reverse engineered a couple things and played with it for a while and
Yeah,
finally got
smart.
it set. And so then her sales, over time she was making 700 a year. Then after she started implementing bank consistently, she went to over $1 million a year in short order. And I can't remember what that, I'm trying to envision the slide we used in our
Crazy,
presentation.
yeah.
But yeah, it helped her that much. Then she started training other people in her team and the team sales increased. She started training sidelines, etc. And then she set off to do this as its own business.
Yeah.
And the rest is history.
Great.
So the point with the bank, she likes financial terms. So, bank is the personality assessment. When she started the company, the coaches or the trainers that were signing up, she was calling them bankers. We don't use that term anymore. That's kind of been let go. But all kinds of wording that were financial.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, when I meet people, they think I work for a bank. I'm like, no, I've included that in my
The
introduction.
bank
I'm not in
system.
financial, not in financial services.
The
I help
acronym
increase your
bank.
income.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a personality methodology. So essentially, when you know someone is a certain falls into a B or an A or an N or a K. So blueprint, for instance, I'm just going to take a guess. That person needs to see things kind of laid out in a manner that makes sense to their brain in how they process information.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're usually very much about systems and
Mhm.
procedures. They're the ones who like rules.
Mm.
May not always agree with them, but if they know what they are, they
Yeah.
will follow them and likely enforce them.
Yeah. I have clients like that they need to see it on paper. So I create an actual business blueprint for them, like an action plan business. But I don't do it for all my clients because some of them, like, they don't need it. But the ones that do, and they just need to see, how am I going to make this happen? And they need a visual, I create it for them. They're obviously bees, and so you can feel it out when you get to understand it a little bit better and why that person needs it. You just have it in, based on any business that you do. I'm a business consultant. You have it in your toolbox to pull out to give them because that's what they're looking for.
Correct.
Yeah. But don't give it to everybody because the person that doesn't need it, you're totally wasting their time. And they're like,
Yeah, they're never
could
going
we
to look
not
at
talk about this today?
it. They're never going to look at it. They're
All I
gonna
want to know is, how do I nurture my clients? That's all I want to know. I want to make the biggest impact. I want them to be happy, And so that you spend different time with them, teaching them different things. Yeah, for sure.
Right. I always like to talk about blueprint kids. They're the ones who will follow the rules and enforce the rules. So if you have a child who's a tattletale, makes you crazy because they're tattling on everybody.
Oh, I know that I have my tattletale grandkids. They tattle on everyone. Which one are they?
Blueprint.
She's a blueprint? Okay.
Most likely, yes, because again, they like to enforce the rules. They know the rules are there and they have this strong sense of right and wrong.
Anything with wanting to get attention, is that in there at all with that person? Just kidding.
Not
They're
so much
kids.
for the blueprint. That is needing the attention is the action.
I don't need the attention, but okay. I don't know. Like last night. Okay, Kelly, let's talk about last night. So Kelly and I, about last night, that was a movie, by the way. I'm sitting at a table with some women and we're all chatting. There's some new women in the group I've never met before and some women there I had. And I was actually selling a mini retreat that one of the other ladies at the table was having to the new women that were there to help her out, And I couldn't believe the number of people that came up to us and interrupted us. And they would say things like, so are you guys having your own little thing here or are you networking? And Kelly and I were at a networking event that had 150, I don't know, 175 people there, 200 people there. I didn't even count. I couldn't count. So we're talking a plethora of individuals for everybody to network with. Why would you have to walk up to our table to say that? Like, I am definitely one of those people that get very irritated by that because it's like, can't you see can you read the room? Read the room. So Kelly said, oh, there was definitely a lot of people there like that that couldn't read the room and individuals that I was talking to. So how do you use bank in a networking situation? Let's talk about that because you use it like fast when you meet somebody.
I do. When people ask me what I do, I start going into a little bit of the details. And sometimes, depending on what I get from them initially, I may say, okay, let's play a game. And I will whip out
Your
my little base
cards.
cards, which if you guys crack your code, you're going to do the digital version of this, but we actually have physical ones
Awesome.
too. And I will ask them, do me a favor, take a look at these cards, put them in the order of the card that's most like you on top down to least like you on bottom. This will help me get to know you better, serve you better, and can save us both some time. So there's two reasons I do that. One,
Know you
I
better,
wanted to put
serve
their
you
code
better,
in
save us some time is the action person. Know
exactly
you better is that the nurturing or
nurturing.
okay? Know you better.
Yeah.
Keep going. Serve us better.
Yes.
That the
to know you better,
blueprint.
serve you better. And sometimes I'll use both depending on the conversation.
Knowledge has to fall in there somewhere.
Yeah. So it starts.
But they're learning by doing the cards. That's kind of.
Do me a favor. Take a look at take a look at the cards. Talks to the knowledge because they want information.
Yeah.
Put them in order of most like you to least like you. That's step by step. That's the blueprint. To get to know you better, serve you better is the nurturing. Save us both some time is the action. So basically, I'm teaching them the script, which is what we call power scripted. It is now scripted to cover all 4 personality types. Because if you don't use all 4, you may miss the person and not speak to what was important to them to make them want to do it. But some people are so curious what this is. I've even had people walking by as I'm cracking someone's code go, what are you guys doing? What is that? And then they want to crack their code because they're like, no idea what's going on.
Yeah, which is really cool because she did the same thing to me. I'm like, oh, girl, I know this already. I've done this already. I'll just put them in order real fast. Not a problem. And I think we also overlap. I think we need to remember we're not isolated in a silo in one. Because I am an extremely nurturing person. And in the moment in that table, the reason why I had it situated the way I did is I had a friend there that had just come back after her husband had passed away and was out there for networking for the first time. And I'm an extremely nurturing person. So I was nurturing the situation for what her needs were in that moment. And that just kept pissing me off that people kept interrupting us because I was kind of creating that bubble for us. So you will overlap. And when it comes to certain things, I'm very analytical and need to dive into the blueprint side of it. And I've got to have the knowledge behind it to take the action. So, but if you look at all of those, there's one that you are just screaming of just kind of who you are on the regular, but that doesn't mean that you aren't part of all 4 of those. That's why you said most like you, least like you, but we're still all 4 of those, but you want to speak to the one that's on top. Mostly. They're very number 1.
Usually, yes.
Okay.
There is this caveat to that because the order of the cards are important. The first one is how you show up. So for you, you usually show up as that action, your fun, your freedom. You don't like being put in a box. You don't like to follow the rules.
I wasn't following the rules last night.
No.
I was sitting down and having conversations with people at a networking event. Can't you see I'm breaking the rules?
Then you've got the nurturing is the second, which then kind of softens that action.
Yeah.
An action paired with the knowledge is the second. They can be very abrupt, very.
That used to be me.
Aggressive.
That used to be me. Yeah.
So that second one will influence the first one. And the third one is your stress code. So you were talking, if I remember correctly, knowledge is your third one, correct?
Yeah. And nurturing, knowledge, well, probably blueprint and then knowledge. I believe so. Yeah. So something like that. Or maybe it's knowledge and then blueprint. Knowledge is my stress code. Let's just admit it.
Okay. So
Colleen.
Knowledge would be your third one.
Dang it. I'm so vulnerable on these stupid podcasts. I swear. What is yours, Kelly? Let's get your underwear out there for everybody to see.
I have no problem talking about mine. I talk about it all the time. But I wanted to say, if I see you talking in knowledge and I see you're getting kind of stuck in over analysis, I know you're in stress. I know I have to fix that before we can move on.
Got it.
So what you're seeing first off may not be what their actual code is, depending if they're stressed or not. And then the fourth one is what turns you off in sales. Somebody's coming to you, and that's what you want to avoid. So in your case, blueprint. So I don't want to come in with the systems and the processes most of the time if I'm introducing something new to you. Now, you said you do go there, and yes, we all do.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a franchise, from the franchise industry. I'm a franchisor. I've got to, systems and processes is a big thing to me. But, when we talk about stress points, it's like there's a frustration point for me in a lot of things. And I always told my children, and depending upon which one it was, I was like, you will be able to fix anything, so you're going to be fine. The other one, I'd be like, you need to make enough money to pay someone to fix it for you because that's just not your thing. Like you can tell when the kids are younger, you already know which ones can fix it and they love it and it lights them up and they're going to be the one and they're never going to hire anyone. And the other person, you're like, you better make enough money because you're going to have to hire someone to fix everything for you. That's just going to be your life. I don't know. This has been such a fun conversation, Kelly. Okay, bank for a business. So for me, and we'll just use me as an example, bank for a business when I'm selling a franchise, bank for a business when I'm deciding if I want to bring on a specific client to work with and they're looking to hire me and I mean, I think those would be the only two main scenarios that I can think of. I can pick it up pretty quickly in networking because I've been around bank long enough. But how does someone use it in sales? Because I think that's a big topic today. So let's talk about it in sales, like selling a client to work with you.
So once they crack the code, they know all those things that we just kind of talked about with the first, second, third, fourth is, so they can kind of work around what's most important to that person. You remember I talked about my story in direct sales. Nobody was buying from me because I was speaking the wrong language. Well, I am able to adapt to that now. And if I was wanting to make that sale, depending on who I'm talking to, say I'm talking to a nurturing person who's a parent with these children, that you can help your children do so much better at school because they're getting better nutrition. They're bridging the gap of what's missing. Which them being healthy will help them do well in school, which will help them have a better life later on. For the nurturing, we want to talk about, community and support. We have this Facebook group that you'd be able to join and talk with other moms who are dealing with eating issues with their children. And I can teach them with bank how to motivate the kid to actually eat the stuff too.
Okay. I have to tell y'all, we have a big treat for you because Kelly is one of our main stage speakers that's going to be at the November Empower and Elevate conference. The link is below. So no matter where you live in the United States, you can fly in. We have a lot of women that fly in for the day. And I just love this. And I know that she's going to motivate us and teach us so much more when we have more time about bank and, sharing it. So all of the women that are there and in attendance have the opportunity to understand how it's going to work for them. Not only on how you show up, but how you're selling. What are the other areas? So how you show up, networking, selling, building relationships,
dating,
leading, dating, kind of everything in our entire life.
Employee retention, customer retention,
improving
your own,
training your dog.
Yes, dogs have a code too.
I bet they have everything for dogs. So I bet they do, Kelly. So all of you have to come and see her at that conference. Kelly, how can everyone listening today, we talked about it in the beginning, how can they break their code? So how can they figure out what their code is and get their results? And where should they follow you? Where do you want them to go to connect with you?
I am most active when we talk about social medias on Facebook and on LinkedIn. Facebook being my primary one. LinkedIn, I'm still
Kelly.Leightner on Facebook. Okay. She's got short brown hair. Go watch the video. You guys know where to find the video. Go watch the video. She's got short brown hair. You can't miss her. She's like as big as a minute. So cute. So cute.
Thank you.
Where do they break their code? Crack their code? Not break it.
I know you.
Codebreakerglobal.com/crack your code, right? /Kelly. We've got it.
Gotta have the Kelly on the end of it or it won't come to me, unfortunately.
And then kellyleightner.com is available out there too for you to go to make sure. And you can always connect with Kelly at kellyleightner.com. We'll have all of that information available to you. Kelly lives here in Arizona. That's why I was saying I saw her at a networking event. We actually met at a networking event. It's why we connected on bank. And I was like, I haven't met anybody in bank again in a long time. So girl, you've got to get around me in my community because these women, they really just need the training. And this is great training for growing a business. Great training for growing a business. In fact, Kelly doesn't know I'm going to ask her this, but I would love for you to come in. I have another client training that I'm running in October. I would love for you to come in personally, train on bank, teach my clients how to use bank, because our October training, we reflect on the year, what went well, what didn't, what our big goals are for the next year, and then how we're going to reach them. And what does that business plan look like? And I think bank is a good vehicle to use for those big goals that we have for 2025. So I'd love to have you come in and I'll talk offline a little bit more about that. But
absolutely. I love getting the message out there and
Yeah.
helping people get better at what they're doing. They may
Yeah.
already be good, but let's pick up the ones you're missing. 'cause
And I
you're
have a
missing
retreat
anything.
in October. I want you to come to that one too and train. I think that'd be great. No, I'm serious. This is an opportunity for y'all to connect with Kelly and bring her in to train your clients. Give them this opportunity to be open to understanding what bank is so that they can use it for themselves in their business, right? It doesn't always have to be you. If you've got clients, then it's great for you to use that. So thank you so much, Kelly, for being on today's show. I just want to remind every single person that's been here and listening today, you're the only you that's ever been. You're the only you that's ever going to be. Okay. So don't be whining and crying that life isn't happening exactly the way you want it to. Kind of take it by the reins, I say. This is giving you knowledge. All of this is giving you knowledge. It's equipping you with more tools than you had before to do and be better and show up differently in the best version of yourself. And it takes hard work. It does, to look in the mirror and know that I've got some growth. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so this has been a great conversation, Kelly. I'm super excited about November to have you at the Empower and Elevate conference. Anyone listening can go to empowerandelevateconference.com and you'll find our next event there. Kelly,
And if
you've
you
been
haven't been to one, I highly recommend it because I went last year and the speakers they had I was not a speaker at that
It was
one.
March. It was this year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The last one. But it was amazing. I got so much out of it and I was so happy to be there. I made great connections with other women that, there's collaborations starting to happen from that.
Oh,
So
yeah.
come check it out, guys.
I was sitting with
job.
someone last night at the event, and one of the ladies she met at the very first Empower and Elevate conference in 2023, she hired her. She's a nutritionist, and she hired her to work with her husband. And yesterday was the first day that her husband had gone an entire day without antacid medication, that he was on very high level, like daily prescription. That's the first day that he didn't have any of acid reflux for an entire day because he changed his nutrition. That is major. So many women have hired people from the event. They've gotten clients. Oh, now I'm working with this person. That's why I do these events. It's not for me. It's for all of you to meet each other, because I was just meeting too many women so fast in Arizona and trying to connect them all. And I was like, how can I do this easily? And I was like, I'll throw an event and I'll bring them all together and they can all meet each other. And now I do it twice a year. So we're doing it for you too. So make sure you come and check it out. If you're looking to get more visibility, you're looking to build better relationships, you're looking to get more clients, you need to empower yourself with knowledge and elevate your game. It's definitely the conference for you. And Kelly's our speaker coming up in November.
So
I can't
excited.
wait. All right, everyone. Thank you for being with us on today's super fun show that we had, Kelly and I, and we will see you next time. But until then, remember, be you and be strong. Bye-bye for now.
We hope you enjoyed our show today, as our guests shared their secrets on designing their life by taking the necessary leaps to expand their influence and attract the right people and clients into their lives. To start these easy steps for yourself, be sure to visit www.colleenbiggs.net/freebies to download the 7 ways to increase your exposure today.